Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jerry Jones bluntly addresses Cowboys' plan for NFL trade deadline. Jerry Jones rarely shies away from offering his opinion on key topics involving the Dallas Cowboys. As fans found out on Tuesday during a segment on 105.3 The Fan, that also includes voicing his displeasure when questioned about topics he doesn't feel need to be discussed. While Jones went viral for his on-air interaction related to the team's lack of off-season moves, he spoke about that and a few other topics with The Athletic's Diana Russini shortly after. Unfortunately for those Cowboys fans hoping to see Jones shake things up ahead of the November 5 trade deadline, it seems another quiet stretch is on the horizon instead. As Russini revealed on X, Jones said the Cowboys will not be active before the trade deadline. When specifically asked if the team will try to improve the roster by making any moves before the deadline, Jones reportedly offered just a three-word answer. Not thinking that, Jones said, per The Athletic. Jones infamously stated the Cowboys will be all in this past offseason, but Dallas was one of the quietest teams in the NFL when free agency rolled around. While he's not doubling down with any comments remotely close to that regarding the team's outlook ahead of the trade deadline, these comments are bound to frustrate Cowboys fans. Dallas is fresh off a brutal 47-9 home loss to the Detroit Lions, which snapped a two-game winning streak and effectively ended any growing optimism surrounding the team. The Cowboys are now 3-3 entering their bye week with a brutal stretch ahead, as they'll face the San Francisco 49ers, Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles, Houston Texans, and Washington Commanders over the next 5 games. Cowboys trade pitch lands Dak Prescott $10 million star WR. The Dallas Cowboys scored just 9 points on Sunday in an embarrassing loss at home against the Detroit Lions. The Cowboys are entering their bye week with a 3-3 record. After the bye, the Cowboys will face 5 straight challenging games against the San Francisco 49ers, Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles, Houston Texans, and Washington Commanders. The Cowboys could look for an offensive boost for quarterback Dak Prescott via the trade market to keep the team in playoff contention before December. Scott Polacek with Bleacher Report suggested the Cowboys would be a top landing spot for New York Jets wide receiver Mike Williams. The Dallas Cowboys could also use a change after Sunday's blowout 47-9 loss to the Detroit Lions. They aren't exactly loaded with proven options at wideout outside of CeeDee Lamb. Williams could be an ideal deep threat who could take advantage of the single coverage he would see basically any time he was on the field, with opposing defenses focusing so much of their attention on slowing Lamb and accounting for tight end Jake Ferguson. Per Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, the Jets are shopping Williams this week after they completed a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders for Davante Adams. Williams, who the Los Angeles Chargers took with the number 7 pick in the 2017 draft, has had a slow start to the season in New York. The 30-year-old receiver has 10 receptions for 145 yards in 5 games with the Jets. Jerry Jones would have to have a change of heart to make a trade happen for Williams. Per a report Tuesday by Diana Russini of The Athletic, the owner of the Cowboys does not intend to buy before the trade deadline. As for the upcoming November 5 NFL trade deadline, Cowboys' Jerry Jones says they will not be active. Russini posted on X, he also says they will not be making any changes at head coach or coordinators. He points to a lot of details that need to improve during practice. As for the upcoming November 5 NFL trade deadline, Jerry Jones says they will not be active. He also says they will not be making any changes at head coach or coordinators. He points to a lot of details that need to improve during practice. Cowboys' Jerry Jones issues blunt statement on firing Mike McCarthy. 6 weeks into the NFL season, we have already seen 1/32 of the NFL's coaches lose their jobs. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy was not the one, however. and despite the rocky 3-3 start to this season, which includes 2 blowout losses at home and another near blowout at home, it does not appear that McCarthy is next in line. Doug Peterson in Jacksonville? Probably. Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia? He's almost making it easy for Eagles brass to fire him. But the Cowboys have McCarthy as their man. And that's not going to change. After Sunday's drubbing at the hands of the Lions, a 47-9 eyesore, owner and general manager Jerry Jones was asked about McCarthy's status, and quickly shot down the idea of saving the season with a coaching change. He was asked about it again during his weekly radio appearance on 105.7 The Fan in Dallas. He was blunt in his approach to McCarthy: "I won't be making any others, coaching changes, during the season." While in-season coaching changes have helped other struggling organizations in the past, Jones has one experience of having changed coaches in his time as Cowboys owner, and he did not like how things turned out much. The change came in 2010, after the Cowboys had gone 11-5 the previous year under Wade Phillips. But they started 1-7 that year, as Tony Romo struggled with injury and was not very effective when he was healthy. After firing Phillips and bringing on Jason Garrett, the Cowboys went 5-3. That does not matter as much to Jones, though, as the fact that Phillips went on, 5 years later, to be the defensive coordinator in Denver, helping the Broncos to a Super Bowl championship. "They usually are ineffective," Jones said, via the Dallas Morning News. "At that particular time, with Phillips, I did think it was the thing to do. I think it did produce a positive effect, but we'll never know." All Wade did was move over to Denver. He didn't become the head coach, he became the defensive coordinator, and that was one of the few times in my 35 years in the NFL that I heard throughout the league that the one coach was responsible for them having the team, and that was Wade Phillips running the defense for Denver when they won the Super Bowl. Now that was the coach I'd let go out of here just a few years earlier. So much for me jerking on 1-7. All that might make sense, of course, if Jones had confidence in McCarthy. If the sentiment is that the Cowboys should not have let Phillips go after the 1-7 start, because he helped a team to a championship 5 years later, then being unwilling to make a move on McCarthy now must mean that the Cowboys are committed to McCarthy long-term. And yet, he is in the final year of his contract, and the Cowboys have made no move to extend him. Jones is letting McCarthy twist in the wind, effectively a lame duck without a new deal. McCarthy addressed his contract status on Monday. "I think it's just part of the business," McCarthy said, via Todd Archer of ESPN. "When people ask me about really anything with the team, part of working here, it's part of the business." And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike McCarthy? Leave your opinion in the comments.